a true purpose is not, in the same way like the posture, a true purpose is not a destination that you arrive at and is true forever. So if I say like, my purpose in life is to run this retreat, is that really true? Of course not. The retreat's going to end in 6 days. But, or if I say my entire purpose in life is to be a basketball player, well, that's not true for anybody, because everybody eventually has their career end. And then what? And so the analogy I gave to somebody the other day was, there's a very specific feeling when you're really living your quote unquote purpose. And that's like a loaded term, I know that the word purpose gets thrown around, but when I say purpose, I'm referring to what you most essentially are. And it's similar to, like in San Diego, there's a lot of surfing. And if you're surfing on a wave, you catch the wave and you're riding it. That's a very, very specific feeling, but you're riding the wave and the wave is moving. And in the same way, when you're living on your unique purpose, on the path that you're meant to be on, it's the feeling of being on this wave alive. It's very different from being off the wave treading water. And we've all had the feeling of treading water, like I don't know what I'm doing, what direction should I go in, not even sure of like how to ride waves or even that we should be riding. We're just on the water, splashing around and surrounded by other people splashing around who are uncertain. And so in the same way, ultimately our purpose is more like being on the wave and riding it, and it changes and evolves over time. There's no destination. It's an infinite path that progresses and unfolds, in the same way that, like, when I finally had the sense that I was on the wave riding it was when I started Deep Game, when I dissolved DGT and gave up like a whole bunch of stuff and finances and all these, because it was like, how could I not do this? This is just exactly what I'm meant to be doing right now. But Deep Game's not the ultimate thing. I'm only going to be doing Deep Game probably a relatively short time longer before progressing on to the next thing. But it's all the same wave. The wave is just moving and evolving. So searching for like, okay, I'm a writer, or I'm a filmmaker, or I'm a who knows what, speaker or business person, or trying to fit yourself into this narrow, confined box. My purpose is to run this business. Well, that's true now, but it's going to evolve. And what we're looking for is being on the wave rather than being like frozen in time on the wave and having this be the only wave that we ever ride. The purpose is to ride the waves. So that second principle is just to say that like it evolves over time. There's no destination. It will change shape. But what we're looking for is being on the wave, on the path, and having that feeling of like, yes, this is right. So logical mind won't figure it out. The purpose evolves over time, and we can give you some time to write that down if you like. Purpose evolves over time, and as we said before, if you're on somebody else's path or copying what you see somebody else doing, you're not on your path. So purpose is completely unique to you. It can have elements of somebody else, like there can be aspects of it that are similar, but ultimately your unique expression of it is completely yours. And so that leaves us with like a really unclear map for getting there, right? Because if you're not going to figure it out and there's no ultimate destination to it, and it's not something anybody else has done before, what are we supposed to do? Like, what does that leave us with, and if anything? So we're going to answer that question. There's this beautiful, did anybody read The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life? That book?
I listened to the podcast.
Okay, yeah, the podcast is so good too. So Lion Tracker's Guide to Life is a metaphor for finding your purpose by a a man who owns an African safari, and he's got these master level African lion trackers out there with him. And he learned from this man named Vranes, who was like a generational tracker in the wild. And Vranes had this saying, I don't know where we're going, but I know exactly how to get there. Which means I have no idea where the lion is, but I know exactly how to track it and to ultimately find it through finding clues and finding its trail. And that's what I'm offering to you here is I can share the clues and I can tell you what trail to look for. I can't tell you where it ultimately is, because that's totally up to you. And that's the beautiful mystery of all of this, is that it's unfolding spontaneously for all of us in a completely unique way. Like, really take that in, because that's a cool thing. That's really cool. You each have something inside of you that's never been done before. Right? That's really, really powerful.